That's all very well, but here is the nub of the matter. And we all know here he's talking about the channel crossings. Now, the channel crossing, the people crossing the channel are doing so, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but they're doing so legally, because under the UN Refugee Convention, they do have the legal right to claim asylum, even if they've come from France. Case law will be argued to say that they do have the legal right, even if they come from France, to claim asylum. So he's facing a situation where he's looking at all these people coming over who are actually just exercising the legal right that Britain's membership of the UN Refugee Convention confers upon them. And for those smugglers who are not, or rather the people who are organizing the boats, for those of them who are not actually engaged in anything deliberately exploitative, they can simply just say, look, I just gave that dinghy to that person to help him cross the channel so that he could claim his legal right to asylum, which is his legal right under British law, so long as Britain remains within the UN Refugee Convention. And so Britain is stuck with all of these tens of thousands of people whom we have allowed into our country perfectly legally. Now, we are under the UN Refugee Convention. We have two options when they arrive at Dover. The only thing we are legally obliged to do is that under the convention, we cannot send them back to the country in which they claim they are unsafe. We cannot send them back to that country without an investigation which proves otherwise. That's the demand, that's the legal demand that we are under. We cannot send them back to the country from which they claim to be unsafe unless we can prove otherwise. A crazy legal trap, as it were, that we are in. So given that is our legal obligation, we have two options. We can listen to their claim for asylum. We can investigate it, and we can turn them down. They have a right to appeal, and we can turn them down again. And when we've done that, we can then send them back to that country. And that's a process which can take years. Or the other option that we have is we can say, we're not admitting your claim at all. We're not even going to hear to it. And we have the right to do that, even if they are genuinely refugees. We have the right just to say, no, your claim is inadmissible. And that's what the government, the Tories, wanted to do. However, if we do that, we still cannot send them back to the country that they claimed to be unsafe in. Again, we can't do that unless we take them through the process and unless we find them to be unfounded, unless we find their claim to be unfounded. So we either have to analyze it all and prove that they're not at risk, or we say we're not listening to it at all. But if we do that, we can't send them back. We still can't send them back. So that's where this concept of a safe third country comes in. That's the idea of sending them to the Balkans, sending them to Rwanda, sending them somewhere other than the country that they claim to be unsafe in. And that's a terrible trap that we are in. It's a terrible trap that we are in. And the only way out of it is to leave the UN Refugee Convention so that we are no longer subject to that legal trap.